Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Buddy Study Group. And today we're joined by Julie Udovich of Nationwide, and she is going to be going over something that, we had Alan Gregoire on the study group a couple of months ago, and he mentioned to us that an annuity product may be coming, may have come quicker than you ever thought, but it is here. And Julie is here to give us the lowdown on CareMatters Annuity. I'm hearing and seeing a lot of great things, so I'm sure Julie will give us what we need to maybe understand what we've heard or maybe just affirm some of that learning. So, Julie, thank you. We really appreciate you being here, and you can take it away whenever you're ready.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason. And hello, everybody. I see some nice, friendly faces that I remember and some new ones here too. So thank you all for joining. Um, like Jason said, my name's Julie Udoch. I'm the CareMatters wholesaler. I support the Western region. So everything west of Utah, I'm your gal. We have 5 different CareMatters wholesalers that support the rest of the country. But yes, I support the West. And as Jason mentioned, yes, we are so excited to have CareMatters Annuity a part of our CareMatters. As you're familiar with, we have CareMatters 2, which is our individual linked benefit product, which is life-based linked benefit. We've got CareMatters Together, which is our joint linked benefit product, which is on a second to die life chassis. And now we're thrilled to have CareMatters Annuity, which again is a linked benefit, but instead of life insurance, it has an annuity base. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of go through how this product works and why we came up with it the way we did and how we designed it, etc. All right. So we launched CareMatters Annuity a little over a month ago. So it's pretty new to us, and I'm sure to everybody on this call. But we've already seen, quite a few applications come in the last month. So, I mean, that's a good indicator, that people are really enjoying this product. Now, I just kind of wanted to go through, what the marketplace has been. Why did we come up with an annuity solution? It's funny because every year in January, nationwide, and I'm sure all the carriers do this, but we have our national sales meeting in January where everybody from all over the country, we all converge in one place and we have like a week long meeting. And part of that meeting, we have little breakout sessions, for example, with our product development team. And, they come up with a list and say, okay, what are you guys hearing out in the field? We have linked benefit for individual. We've got a joint product. What's kind of next? And they give us a list like, should we develop a traditional plan? That's never going to happen, by the way. So no, but it was on the list, traditional, work site, annuity based link benefit. So they had a list of items, thinking, okay, what are we going to develop next? Well, of course, all of us in unison said we need an annuity based product. That seems to be the hot ticket. So last year, I thought it was interesting because in 2024, over 2 billion in long-term care sales. What comprised all of those sales? Well, clearly the life-based linked benefit market dominated at 68%. But look at this annuity linked benefit. That's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, almost a quarter of that came from annuity based linked benefit products, traditional 7%, group 3%. So it was kind of the natural progression for us to come up with an annuity based solution. Life based linked benefits, as you know, does have a life insurance component to it. So we are underwriting for both mortality as well as morbidity. It's simplified, but you still have that mortality piece. Obviously, traditional, there is no life insurance, so it's just fully underwritten for long term care. The annuity piece, again, it's not life based, it's annuity based. So there's no mortality, being looked at. So you'll see some of the questions when I get to the 6 underwriting questions, you'll say, well, gosh, you guys really are taking on a lot of risk with that. And that's because we don't have that mortality piece. We're able to look at maybe situations that we weren't able to look at before. So it really kind of opens up the door for all of you. Instead of saying, oh gosh, you got declined. Sorry, we have no options. This could be a really great solution for those people that maybe don't fit into a life-based product. And with the annuity, it could be a great solution. So let's drill down. Who comprised this 22% last year? Well, look at this. Global Atlantic dominated this market. 64% went to their 4Care product. As everybody knows, I'm sure everybody on this call has seen what 4Care looks like or what it's about. It's a daily reimbursement contract. Um, but there's only 10 questions. People love the simplicity of 4Care. 5 questions, you get 2 times leverage. 10 questions, you get 3 times leverage, period, the end. That I think is a huge selling point for them. Even though they are on a daily reimbursement, I think people just love the simplicity of that. One America took up about a quarter of that last year. They are a monthly reimbursement. Then you've got Equitrust and Guarantee Income to kind of round it out. So we said, gosh, people seem to really like this simplicity of Global Atlantic. So we kind of fashioned our product with the 2 and 3 times leverage, just like 4Care. So let's delve into that a little bit more. So you've got daily reimbursement 4Care, Global Atlantic. You've got the monthly reimbursement with One America. Now here comes Nationwide with our CareMatters annuity, which is 100% monthly cash indemnity. And I mean, everybody on this call knows. I mean, that's kind of our brand, right? 100% cash indemnity, no restrictions, no monthly bills and receipts, all that good stuff. So this is a single premium product only. Okay. Um, what I really like about this product, because I think we're going to be able to capture a lot of cases that maybe we're kind of missing the boat on right now, is, and I know you do it with the other carriers too, if you have an old annuity, maybe has a lot of gain in it, they bought it 20, 30 years ago and it has all that gain, and they've decided, your client says, you know what, that is my rainy day fund. Well, why don't we reposition it into one of these annuity based long term care policies? Now, because of the Pension Protection Act, you can use that gain tax free. And oh, by the way, let's double or triple that. Okay. So that's kind of the sizzle to this plan, is that you can do a tax free 1035 exchange from an old non qualified annuity. You can even do it from an old life insurance policy into this. You can take that cash value and 1035 it again, use everything tax free, and then double or triple it. Like I said, underwriting is morbidity only. We're going to go up to age 80. We're assuming, again, we're only a month in, but we're assuming a 95% approval. I mean, who knows, that number could change, but that's what we're hoping for. And we're hoping to accept most CareMatters 2 declines, which I think is great because, again, let's say you get that decline email and says, oh, I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Smith was declined for CareMatters 2. You can turn around and ask the case manager and say, hey, would they qualify for CareMatters annuity? And they'll ask underwriting and they'll tell you, yeah, he could apply it, standard or preferred, which is 2 or 3 times leverage. So that's kind of the neat thing I see with this product.
Yeah, do you see One America doing a really nice job with that as they have over the years? Is if you have an asset care decline, it's almost like the underwriter is essentially programming in, okay, here's our next step. So I really like that, you're using kind of the same mentality there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because again, Jason, I do think we were kind of missing the boat on that, you know? And, nobody likes to go back to their client and say, sorry, you got declined. At
Right.
least this way, you have another option within the same carrier. You don't have to sit there and go to another carrier and go through all of that. You do have to fill out, let's say CareMatters annuity is an option and they want to pursue it. You don't have to go through, all of the underwriting all over again. However, you do need to fill out the CareMatters annuity application, and fill out the 6 questions and things of that nature because it is a legally binding document. But I mean, at least you don't have to start from scratch with another carrier and go through that process. So
Yeah, I
I
think
think
that's
it's neat.
wonderful. And, we just had a study group about declines in saving cases. If not last week, I think it was the week before. This is
Yeah,
another good thing to kind of build into that preparation of the client. If you're looking at Care Matters and you may have, borderline health, let them know that they've got a safety net there. So, number one, they can kind of have some peace of mind. But number two, so there's not a kind of unwelcome surprise that we've got some more extra work to do if they're declined, right?
absolutely. Absolutely. Now, out of the gate, we kind of rolled this back since now it's been a month. Since CareMatters annuity is not in all states just yet, I mean, there's like about 10 states or 13 states where we don't have this. I'll go through that here in a second. But because there are like 13 states where we don't have CareMatters annuity, the underwriter at when we first launched, they were saying, "Oh, you're declined, but you know what? We can flip you over to Care Matters." They don't say it in that language, but you get the idea. You can apply for Care Matters annuity. Well, they stopped doing that because the underwriter, they were making that response to people in California, for example, right? And this product isn't in California. Well, the underwriters don't know product. They just know how to underwrite, right? So it was kind of causing a little bit of confusion. We were super excited that the underwriter can make that offer right off the bat, but we kind of rolled that back a little bit until more states come on,
Sure.
probably in January. Then we're going to start that up again. But it was causing a little too much confusion here at the beginning, so we stopped doing that. But that doesn't mean that if you're in a state like, I don't know, Washington, where we do have Care Matters annuity and you apply for Care Matters too, and they come back a decline, there's nothing that says you cannot just email them back and say, would this client qualify for Care Matters annuity? And then they'll respond. So they're doing it that way for right now.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Okie doke. So the mechanics, everybody knows what a linked benefit is. There's a base, there's an extension, right? Same thing here. So this is showing a 3 times leverage policy. So you've got your 2-year base, that's your annuity, that's your account value. And if anything's remaining, that's your death benefit. Then you've got a 4-year extension, which is just pure long-term care insurance. There's no death benefit, no cash value, none of that, just like a normal linked benefit. And then, of course, you get the 3 times the account value. So this is what's known as the preferred rates. And I'll get into the rate classes here in a sec. So, like I said, 100% cash indemnity. So that really kind of makes us stick out from the competition. Maximum monthly benefit, no monthly approval process, sending in receipts and all that. Um, we still have the exact same elimination period as we do on our other products. It's the 90 calendar days, retro to zero. And what's nice about Nationwide is that we don't pay benefits at the end of the month. So it's not like, I don't know, let's say your benefit is $10,000 a month. First 3 months, we're not going to pay. But on that 91st day, you're going to get 40 grand. Why? Because you've got the fourth month plus the previous 3 months. You're going to get $40,000 cash deposited into your account at the beginning of the fourth month. So that's kind of nice. So you're getting 12 months worth of benefits that first year, not just, 9 months or something like that. Here's a biggie, everybody. And I'm going to pat myself on the back for this one. But, and the only reason I say that is because it doesn't even matter what topic I'm speaking about. Inevitably, it doesn't even matter what call I'm doing. Somebody will ask, how do you guys pay international? What does international benefits look like? So I went to the powers that be at Nationwide and I said, look, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I get asked multiple times a day about how do we handle international benefits. And on Care Matters 2 and on Care Matters Together, it's just the base that's available internationally. So if you want the extension, you've got to come back to the states, territories, possessions, etc. Well, with this, because I don't know, the whole squeaky wheel thing, I guess applies here. 100% total LTC benefits. If you decide you want to move to Portugal, for example, you can take this entire policy with you to Portugal. And it's not 50% of the benefit for 12 years. Let's say your benefit's $10,000 a month. You decide you want to move to Portugal, you're going to get $10,000 a month for all 6 years. Okay. And it's funny because I asked my boss, I said, well, that's great. I said, are we ever going to do that on Care Matters 2 or Care Matters Together? And he he literally looked at me and said, Julie, baby steps, baby steps. Okay. We got this now in this product, baby steps. We'll get there maybe someday. So, but anyway, if you have any clients that are maybe asking you about international benefits, this might be a great solution for them. Plus, it's cash indemnity, no restrictions. You want to move, like I say, to Portugal, you have to have a US bank account. You get US dollars. You're paid in US dollars. You have to have a 9-digit routing number. So let's say you move to Madrid, whatever, and you go to Spain and and there are city banks and Chase, whatever. Just open up an account in the US bank over there and then have that money deposited into your account. So 100% international, first of its kind here on Care Matters Annuity. Now, this is interesting. Here are our rate classes: preferred, standard, select. Issue ages are 40 to 80, but if you're between 40 and 74, you could either get 3 times leverage or 2 times leverage. If you're between 75 and 80, the only option is 2 times leverage. Now, people ask me, okay, Julie, well, if I put in 100,000 and this gives me 200,000 and this gives me 200,000, why is this one 48 months and why is this one 72 months? I'll explain. So let's say, for example, you have a 70-year-old male, whatever, and he applies for Care Matters Annuity, puts in 100,000. And that generates a monthly benefit of $41.66, so almost $4,200 a month. And it's 72 months, like I said, 24-month base, 48 extensions. So he's thinking in his mind, he's getting 41.66 for 72 months. Okay, so let's say my 70-year-old, he doesn't get 3 times leverage. They, I don't know, determined he was only eligible for 2 times. Well, we all know that it's much harder to sell somebody a lower monthly benefit when they already have in their mind 41.66. If we kept it at 72 months, that 41.66 drops to 27.77. So it's much harder for you to go back to that client and say, yeah, we didn't get 3 times, we got 2 times, and your benefit's 27.77. That's kind of a letdown, especially when you think you're getting 41.66. So what we're doing, which is different, is that we're keeping the 41.66 and we're just shortening the time span. So that way, if something happens, they apply it 3 times and they come back 2, at least they're going to keep the same monthly benefit that they applied for. It's just going to be shorter. Okay. Now these people, it's going to be the 27.77 for 72 months. It is going to be the lower monthly benefit and spread out over a longer period. We're only doing that for the standard rate class. Now, LTC benefit. People ask me, hey, Julie, is this tax deductible? Is this single premium tax deductible? Yes and no. No, if you don't add any riders. Okay, so if you're just running this at three times leverage, um, the long-term care isn't paid with premium. The component isn't paid with premium. It's paid from the account value from the base annuity. That's not tax deductible. However, if you decide you want to add 5% compound or you want to add the non-forfeiture rider, these are separately identifiable. And I'm going to show you that in a sec. I'm going to run a quick quote for you and show you where it says it on the ledger. But these are paid with premium. And you could, if you qualify, obviously, you would be subject to the IRS age-based limits. So there could be a portion of these rider premiums that could be tax deductible. Okay, so mainly this is for business owners because you can take the above the line deduction. Um, Probably, an individual taxpayer probably won't be able to benefit from that. So, if you are running into this and you have a business owner client and they want to add 5% compound, they could deduct a portion of that rider premium. Okay. So more product details, like I said, lump sum only. You could do a 1035 from life insurance or non-qualified annuity. The minimum deposit is 36,000. The maximum is 400,000. Now, here's a neat thing about this product, and I'll show you why here in a second. The interest crediting rate on this product is 3%, guaranteed for the life of the contract. That's a big deal, everybody. And I think, Nationwide is all about guarantees and fixed and, no moving parts. We want to make sure that this is going to, you'll know how it's going to perform. So I'm going to show you a comparison here in a sec. In the annuity world, this is the surrender schedule. In the annuity world, they call it CDSC, but it's a 10-year surrender. That's what that means. Penalty-free withdrawal. I don't know why you would do that, but you could. 10% beginning of year contract value years 2+, so you wouldn't be subject to that. Annuitization. Again, I don't know why you would do that because you're using this for long-term care. But I guess if you want to annuitize it, that's great, but you're going to forfeit the long-term care benefits. But you could do it. It is an option. It is an annuity. The death benefit, and we're so used to on the life-based products where a death benefit is paid out and it's tax-free. Well, here, if there's any gain or even any phantom gain in that annuity, your beneficiary is going to have to pay tax on that, right? So works a little bit different. So the death benefit, if there's any remaining contract value on that base annuity, you can have it paid out via lump sum or you can annuitize it. Here's a neat thing though. Spouses are allowed to continue the contract but without LTC. What does that mean? Okay, let me explain. Um, and you have to be legally married too. It can't be like a Kurt and Goldie Hawn situation. Like you actually have to be legally married for this to work. Okay. So let's say husband buys a CareMatters annuity on himself. He's the owner, he's the annuitant. He makes his wife the beneficiary. So he dies. He never used it. She could take a lump sum or annuitize, that death benefit. But because she's his spouse, there's a door number 3 that she can take advantage of. So what that means is if she says, "Oh my gosh, I just got through paying so much in taxes on XYZ ABC. I really don't want to pay taxes on this, amount, after my husband passes." So what she can do, because she's was legally married to him, she can re-register that base annuity in her name. Okay. She loses the LTC portion of it, but she gets that annuity. Why is that a great deal? Well, I'll tell you why. Because let's say now this policy has been earning 3% crediting, for the last 12 years, let's say, he dies in year 12, he's out of the surrender schedule. Okay. Because this surrender, even if she re-registers that base annuity in her name, let's say now it's 12 years later, the surrender is based on when he put the annuity in place. So now it's 12 years later. She has this nice annuity. It's in her name. You know what she can do? She can 1035 that into another project. She can, well, she doesn't have to be CareMatters annuity, it can be whatever she wants, but she could use that annuity and 1035 it tax free and not be subject to the surrender schedule. So that's going to be door number 3 for spouses as far as death benefit goes. So I think that's kind of neat. So here's the comparison I was talking about with the 3% crediting each and every year. You know, Nationwide is big on our guarantees, and I just wanted to show this to you. 100,000 single premium, 60-year-old female. We did 3 times leverage. You'll notice here, 300. By the time she's 80, she has over 500,000 in long-term care. This is her monthly benefit. And again, the 6 years, the 24 and 48. Well, of course, everybody looks at carrier A, and our competition, they both have current and guaranteed values. We only have guaranteed, but they have current and guaranteed. So look at this, carrier A. I mean, of course, that looks great. Obviously, 10,081. This carrier right now is crediting at 5.5%. It's only guaranteed for a year. However, you know what their guaranteed is? 0.5%. So that's, I mean, hey, if somebody likes the potential of, the potential of, growing it past this amount, hey, I think that's great, if that's what they're into. But me personally, and the clients that we seem to, kind of gravitate to, people like guarantees. They like to know, hey, when I'm 80, I want to know for a fact this is going to be my number because I want to be able to plan my life around it. You know, I don't want to have to go, well, is my benefit going to be 43 or is it going to be 10? I mean, let's face it, that's more than a couple $100. I mean, that's a huge swing. So, I mean, hey, there are some people that like to gamble and say, hey, I'm good with that. Well, hey, but you have to understand what you're getting into. That's the power of the guarantees. So that's the 3% crediting each and every year guaranteed for the life of the contract. So how do you apply for this? Well, and I think the UPS guy is here. Sorry about that. Um, so right now we only have paper only. Okay. It's a paper only application. It's actually, well, it's a fillable PDF. It's not paid. You don't have to print it out and get a pen out and fill it out. No, it's a fillable PDF with DocuSign. We can email you the forms. Once you get it, you send it to this email. It's the same email as our other products, so it's not a separate thing. We are going to have e-apps in January. And people say, well, Julie, how come you guys, rolled this out and you don't even have e-apps yet? Well, because we wanted to come to market as soon as possible. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I had to tell George to cut it. Um, so we're going to have e-applications in January. And it's going to be on iGo. I don't know if anybody uses Porch. That's another platform, but typically everybody uses iGo. That's going to be available in January. But for right now, we've got the fillable PDF, and you can use DocuSign. So here are the 6 underwriting questions. This is it, everybody. This is your underwriting right here. 6 questions. The first 5 are determining eligibility. So if you're even eligible for coverage. 6 determines the 2 or 3 times leverage. So first 5 questions, it's the biggies. Are you hospitalized? Do you use a walker wheelchair? Do you need help bathing and dressing? Do you have multiple sclerosis or cirrhosis or Parkinson's or, the big stuff. If you can get through those 5 questions, you're eligible. This one, depending on how many boxes you check, will determine 2 or 3 times leverage. Kind of rule of thumb, and I've asked Alan this, what does 2 or 3 times mean? He said if you check up to 2 boxes, you can still get 3 times leverage. If you check up to 3 or 4 boxes, you get 2 times leverage. If you check off 5 or more, you're a decline. So I've already had people ask me, Julie, my client has XYZ condition. It's not on here, but I'm kind of worried that maybe they wouldn't qualify. Well, you can absolutely pre-screen CareMatters screen at nationwide.com. Shoot them an email, let them know that you're interested in CareMatters Annuity, give them the list, tell them you've looked at the 6 questions because they're going to ask you, did you look at the 6 questions? And they'll give you an answer. And that's it. I mean, we pull a couple reports and that's it. 6 questions, prescription drugs, diagnosis codes, Milliman, the end. There's no part B. There's no interview. It's just 6 questions and we pull a couple reports. Now, if you're 70, there is going to be like a 10, 15-minute telephonic cognitive screen. But other than that, no, 6 questions, pull a couple reports, the end. Okay. So that's kind of nice. We'll be able to maybe make that turn around pretty quickly. I would say at least give it a couple of days for underwriting to get to the case and pull the reports and stuff like that. But it goes pretty quick. Here's what you need as far as training requirements. And people ask me this all the time. Julie, do you guys have product training? Yes, we do. Clearly, life and health license, you need your long-term care. Obviously, you sell annuities, you need your, either the 4-hour best interest or the 4-hour annuity suitability and 1 hour of Reg BI. But here's what we need. Product specific training. Typically people go to Reg Ed, but you can go to Kaplan or iCapital, whatever you like. And this is the code that you look up, CM Annuity. And that's the product specific training. You don't have to be appointed with Nationwide first, but these things you absolutely have to have in place prior to signing and dating a CareMatters annuity application. So the training's live now. You can run quotes. As of October, this is our proprietary software. You can use, a lot of people I know use WinFlex. You can play around with the numbers on WinFlex. These are all the states that were launched in October. This is kind of an older deck, but actually it's so funny because I think it was like October 10th or something. We launched on the 13th, and just a couple days before we launched in all these states, Arizona joined the compact. So they should actually be up here. Okay. So these are all the states that we do not have CareMatters annuity in yet. Okay. I have no idea when it's coming to California. I wish I did. Uh, it took us a year and a half to get CareMatters together in California. Maybe because it's an annuity, it'll go faster. I have absolutely no idea. I mean, fingers crossed sometime in 26, but I don't know. Don't count on it.
We're used to it.
Um, yeah, exactly, right? New York, same thing. No clue. But I did hear that a lot of these other states are going to come live in January. So stay tuned for that. And here's another neat thing. In January, not only are we going to have those e-apps in a bunch of these other states, we're going to have the joint long-term care. Because right now, this is only one annuitant, right? You can't have 2 people. But in January, not only are all those states going to come on, they're going to have both the individual and the joint. Everybody's going to have joint LTC in January. So that's kind of neat. So stay tuned on that. Now, the joint product, we'll probably have to do another training, Jason, because the joint is going to look a little different. It's not going to be 24 and 48. It might be, and don't quote me on this, but it might be 30 and 60, or I don't know. They're going to have a different configuration. It's going to obviously price differently, stuff like that. But the joint is coming in in January. So
We'll get that
one,
booked.
yeah. Now, one last thing I wanted to show everybody, and then we'll open it up. I think some people had some questions, but I wanted to show you one thing, which I thought was interesting. So people ask, oh, this is our proprietary software, by the way. So I just here you can change, CareMatters 2 together. Okay, so I chose annuity. And people ask me, Julie, should I add the 5% compound? When should I add it? When does it look good? Well, I want to show you something. And then you can decide, what's going to be best for your client. So look at this. So I did Washington, male client, he's 70. I gave him 3 times leverage. I gave him the preferred. 85, I put 100,000 in. Calculate. Da, 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 I want to show you with and without inflation. It's interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. So this looks, like our normal illustration. You have your contract highlights. So here's my guy, 70-year-old male, 3 times, 3% guaranteed interest, 3 times leverage, 72 months, etc. Here's the monthly benefit. No inflation, no non-forfeiture. Again, that 10-year surrender. Let's look at the tabular detail. Okay. So look at this. So he's 70. He puts in 100. Here's the interest crediting, the 2986. Here's the rider charge. Remember, I told you the LTC comes out of the annuity. So here are the rider charges coming out. Here's his contract value of his base annuity. So he puts in 100. His base annuity is 102, 102. And then of course, because we gave 3 times leverage, it's 3 times, that contract value. So that's his total long-term care. Well, let's just pretend my 70-year-old, he doesn't go on claim till he's 90, let's just say. Now, because of that 3% interest crediting, et cetera, now his base policy is 154. Now triple that. His LTC benefit is 464, 378. His monthly benefit is 6450. So he goes on claim when he's 90, he's going to get 6450 a month for 72 months. Okay. Now, watch this. Let's go back to case design. Typically, we never add 5% compound on a 70-year-old, right? We never do that in regular long-term care, right? But look at this. I don't know. This 70-year-old might like it. Let's see. So look at this. 100 grand goes in. Here's the crediting. Look at how expensive that rider is. The 5%. It's 25. It costs 25 grand. It's not cheap. So his contract value, remember on the other one, he puts in 100. His contract value was 102. Well, here, because they take this right off the top, the contract value is 76,577. So it looks like it takes him, by the time it catches up, it's 14 years later, okay, to have the premium equal the contract value of the annuity. So here's the risk, right? If he dies somewhere in the first, 13 years, his beneficiary is getting less than the premium that he put in. Okay, so if he thinks, oh, I'm super healthy, I don't care about that, I want more bang for my buck. Okay, well, let's look at 90 again. Let's pretend he goes on at 90. Now his contract value is 116, but because of that 5% compound, look at this. 676, 288. Remember the other one was 6450 a month? Look at this. 8286 is the monthly 100% cash indemnity, no restrictions. That's his monthly benefit for 72 months. So you can play around with the numbers, add inflation, don't add inflation, see how long it takes, for to reach the premium that he put in. Now, of course, if this is a 60-year-old, I don't know, let's look at 60 real quick, and then I'll take questions, I swear. Let's calculate, just so you guys can get a feel. So look at this on my 60-year-old. 100 grand. Okay, it's a little cheaper for him, so it's 20 grand. So he starts off at 82 and it takes him 9 years, to reach the premium. But again, if he goes on claim when he's, I don't know, 85, look at that. He has almost $1 million in long-term care. So anyway, that's all I got for everybody. I'm gonna stop sharing. Does anybody have any questions? I think we had some in the chat.
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
have a couple questions. I'd just like to ask if you have any goodies, maybe even including just a sample illustration, whatever your favorite is, to send over that I can distribute to everybody, even if it's just a couple flyers and the sample illustration. Is that something we could do?
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, Jason. I'll get that over to you after we're done here. Oh, Carly, yeah, can we share more about the reports that you're pulling? Yes. So RX, so prescription drugs, um, DX, so diagnosis codes. So when you go to the doctor and you're telling him everything that you're feeling and this and that, and he's going like this on the computer, he's putting in diagnosis codes. So we're pulling that report of diagnosis codes. I talked to Alan and he said he is pulling a Milliman, IntelliScript as well. So those are the three that they're pulling. So I hope that was helpful.
Yes, that's helpful. Thank you.
You got it. Would you let us know before we redo an app that they would be approved? Thanks, Jean. That's a good question. So yes, on the cases that I've seen so far, where it says, we're sorry we couldn't approve CareMatters 2, but they would qualify for CareMatters Annuity, then yeah, I mean, they already know. I mean, they already saw, you know, all the underwriting from CareMatters too, and they can say, yeah, we're confident that we can give them CareMatters Annuity. You just have to fill out a new app, obviously, and fill out, the 6 questions and stuff. But yes, you already know going in that you're going to get approved for CareMatters Annuity. Yep.
Awesome. Anybody else have questions for Julie while we have her here? She is an absolute wealth of knowledge, and I think this product is so new that we probably don't have a room full of know-it-alls, but I wouldn't put it past you.
And I'm sure the more you play around with the numbers, questions are inevitably going to come up,
Yeah,
right? So,
agreed.
you
Oh, I have a
know,
quick
yeah.
question for you.
Please.
One of the nice things about the Care Matters Life hybrid products is you had a quick quote calculator. Can we anticipate anything like that coming for the annuity product? The only reason I say that is for people who are brand new to you guys, which is a dwindling number now, but it allows you to kind of get in and play with the numbers, maybe as you're getting appointed to get access to full
hmm
quoting software, whatever it may be.
Yeah. So not yet. We only have it for CareMatters 2 and CareMatters Together right
Yep,
now. So yeah, I mean the easiest I guess would just be on WinFlex if you have WinFlex to
sure.
play around on there. But no, not yet.
Okay,
So not to say it's not coming, but
right.
not yet. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
So
Um, and I would assume everything else is just grabbable through the nationwide backend as well, as far as contracts and any other materials.
say that
Let's.
again. I'm sorry.
I'm sure everything else, as far as forms, contracts, is that available on your website as well?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
all of that is on there. Yeah. hmm
Tracy asks, are you allowed to outline your key advantages versus One America's annuity care? Indemnity would certainly be one, but are there others that you know of right now?
Oh gosh. Right now, I do believe I'll send you. You know what, Tracy? What I'm going to do, I'm going to send over the side by side, the brochure, the state approval list. I mean, the 6 questions. I mean, I'm going to send a little care package to Jason and he can get it out to everybody on this call. So be on the lookout for that because that's going to be included in everything that I send him after the call.
Awesome. But yeah, from what I see, Tracy, a very friendly underwriting process. Probably a quicker application process if I had to guess, just looking at what we are looking at for underwriting questions is something that I see. The rest you'll have to kind of prove out in illustration software and check the care package after the study group.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the what we've seen so far, I mean, again, we're excuse me, a little over a month now with this product. The thing that's taken the longest, and this isn't just with CareMatters Annuity, I mean, it's any product. 1035s, as we all know, take forever. So, because the relinquishing carrier doesn't necessarily want to give up those funds really quickly, right? So,
Yes.
that seems to be the longest thing that takes the longest. But the application is easy. The 6 questions are, easy. The pulling of the reports is easy, but it's the funding, right? It's that whole 1035 process. You have to give us the green light. We don't just start it. So, our new business case manager, until they see that email from you saying, yes, it's okay to start the 1035, they're not going to start it until they get the green light. So that's been what I've seen so far. That's been the biggest hang up, or the takes the longest, I guess.
Yeah, and I would say another big advantage is the international benefit,
Oh
full
yeah.
international benefit with from what we've seen is we have people who scour international benefits with a fine-tooth comb, a
Mhm.
really, really nice track to be able to activate those international benefits and get paid. So that is a great, great piece that we can't forget about.
Yeah.
Phyllis is saying the great news nationwide accepts DocuSign for the paper app. That saved me. I would agree. That's a really, really nice. If we have paper apps, a fillable PDF is about as good as you can get.
Yeah.
You're
Thank
getting the
you,
seal of approval.
Phyllis. Yeah, I'm telling you, DocuSign has been a lifesaver. I mean, without the e-app, I mean, having DocuSign has absolutely been a lifesaver. And thank you so much. So,
No, thank you, Julie, because I really had not made myself learn it. And so that forced me to do it because I wanted to do it on that application. And it's so easy. But yeah, so thank you.
absolutely. My pleasure, or our pleasure for sure.
Yay.
But
And really the whole process went, you want me to tell them what my case was?
yes, please. That
Yeah,
would be
go
Okay.
for it.
wonderful.
Sure. I did a couple with CareMatters together, and it was a very surprise decline on the Y. Just shocked. And actually, roll back. It was they bought a nationwide annuity like in 2019.
Mm,
They really wanted long-term care insurance. Okay.
yeah.
So we were just moving that cash value, whatever, into the CareMatters together. But surprise decline on the Y. The good thing about it is when we got the decline, along with the news about the decline, there was a line that said she qualifies for CareMatters annuity. And it had come out like 2 days earlier. And I'm like, yes, so we just made that transition, and actually it was a very, very easy, very smooth.
Excellent. That's so great. And I'm so
Mhm.
glad
Oh,
that
and
was your experience.
he went
Yes.
with CareMatters too. Okay, so
Yeah.
he was taken care of too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
See,
another
that's what I
option.
love. Exactly. I mean, I just love that now we have this, like I say, door number three, you have another option
Mhm.
that I think is going to fit, a lot of those declines that we have. So
Right.
I'm thrilled. So,
Actually, it was a little more to it than that now that I think about it, which could be useful information. The regular nationwide annuities they had were qualified. Okay.
mm,
So they don't want to do a single premium like that. So what we had done was do a SPIA to turn those into a 10-year certain, and we were going to fund the CareMatters annuity with that 10 pay. Well, that still worked out for him because he did a 10 pay on CareMatters too with that
mhm.
annuity. So we just had to do a little bit to get her part turned back around to their bank account because they had to do a single premium with the CareMatters annuity.
Right.
But the whole thing, just the timing of it, that product came up right when they needed it was divine intervention in my book.
I think so too.
And thank you for all your support.
Oh, thank you, Phyllis. I'm thrilled to hear that. So, yeah. So hopefully everybody else on this call, as we move along here, again, if you have questions, reach out to me. Jason can get a hold of me. Please let me know how I can help.
Yeah, absolutely. And we appreciate you taking the time. And I'll tell you, if this product is getting the seal of approval from our annuity watchdog, one of our international benefits watchdogs in Phyllis, it's something to pay attention to for sure. And I think more carriers got to go this route of having a really solid downhill product to be able to facilitate CareMatters Together and CareMatters 2 declines in most cases, and just to continue to offer products that are Pension Protection Act eligible. I think that's one of the most underrated things that long-term care specialists out there are not taking advantage of,
Yeah.
especially if you have financial advisor clients who work with their clients with annuities. You could repurpose those assets for something that's going to meet their needs in their later years. So, just
Hey, Jason,
huge.
let me
Mhm.
throw in one more thing because
Go
this is
for it.
also valuable. I just learned many of us, like I started selling the doublers, as everybody knows,
Mm,
2015 for people who couldn't qualify, right? So I have a situation right now where we had sold, it was actually another product that has an ADL fund and it eventually pays it out over 7 years, but it's that concept. It's still a fixed index annuity so that the gain will come out taxable ordinary income, right? So we just ran a case by Nationwide, and in normal annuity language, the surrender would be a little too high. It would not be accepted to do a replacement. But because they really want long-term care insurance, and now this product is available with tax-free dollars, the management decided that it would be okay to replace that older version, which is not a tax qualified long-term care insurance annuity, with the CareMatters annuity. So
mm.
now that opens up a whole new level of opportunity for those of us who have sold those doublers in the past.
That's
Mm.
huge. That's very helpful
Yes,
Yeah,
it is. That's a
yeah.
great tip, Phyllis. Yeah.
Well,
and
thanks,
very
Yeah.
client
Sean. Sean
centric.
Britt took that to the mat and figured out that we could do that. So we have Sean to thank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, super client centric move. And
Mhm.
there's tons of brilliant people at Nationwide. So
Yeah.
um, really
It's just for
couldn't
some
give them
reason
enough of
these
an
strange
endorsement.
cases happen to me. So, so it's paving the way for us
100%.
all to figure it out.
And that's a good sign. So, for those of you out there who took the time to listen, we appreciate it. I'd say do a review of your existing book. I mean, it's something you should do regularly, right? We're seeing a lot of options out there on the market where if we left somebody without options a while back, there's a likelihood there could be an option for them today.
Yeah.
So when a new product like this comes out from a carrier we know and love and trust, it's probably good to do that review and see if you've got folks who are suitable. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you, Julie, for being here. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you all for
Thanks,
taking the
Julie.
time. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. For those of you who join us on Thursdays for the Worksite Study Group, we're unplugging. You should too. Have a happy holiday. Be
Nope.
well, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Have a good one, everybody.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Julie.